25 tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers markets. Watch this quick rundown on the most important things you need to do to boost sales at a farmers market. Keep in mind that nothing is more endearing for a produce seller than to see people queuing in front of the booth, ready to buy or taste products or have a chit chat with the seller on recipes, seasonal ingredients, and on discount items. Tune in now. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic, because I'm doing fantastic. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk about 25 tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers market. Number 1, visit markets beforehand. You got to understand, one of the biggest factors in your farmers market success is the actual market. So you want to be there the day before or 2 days before, so you are able to find if the market fits with what you want to accomplish, right? And the best way to do this is to go and see for yourself. Don't be surprised. Don't come to at the last minute. No, you want to go there. You want to talk to the organizers. You want to talk to other growers and folks buying at the market to get a sense of what the market is like. All right. And you can do this before, again, 2 or 3 days before. You want to visit the physical space where the market will happen to get a sense of what's going on. Number 2, familiarize yourself with the rules. Every market has its own set of rules. Don't try to be non-compliant here. You want to check with the organizers. While you're chatting with the organizers, you want to see what kind of items, tables, and selling methods are allowed before you get started. Don't be surprised and don't be caught on the other side of the compliance platform, right? Comply and try to get familiar with the rules. 3, start small and grow gradually. Now, you might be thinking, I'm going for the big farmers market. No, it can be a great idea to choose a small market without a huge vendor fee, or one that requires you to invest in a lot of equipment for your first market, right? If you're starting out, target a smaller market where the fees are small, where you don't have to invest a lot of money on equipment, on tables, and so on and so forth. So that way you're able to learn the process and make some mistakes, trials and errors before they really have a negative impact on your business. Number 4, find a unique segment. People go to farmers markets for several reasons. You have tons of people selling tomatoes and lettuce. Now, the thing is, what makes your product unique? That's the big question. What differentiates your products from the rest of the pack? So you can niche your products by offering a unique variety of a certain type of produce, for example. Or you can even package your products into kits or bundles to make your booth different. The idea here is to set yourself apart, whether you set yourself from the product itself, from the packaging, from the communication around the brand or around the booth. Everything you have to do to differentiate yourself is a winner. Number 5, set your products apart. I just talked about it. Your actual product should also be unique in some way. Now, I'm not talking about you changing the color of the tomatoes or the color of the lettuce, right? The thing here is that you want to find a way around the packaging, or find a way around, maybe you want to have a tasting table around your booth where people can actually taste the tomato or the watermelon or the apple, or what have you. You're trying to set your products apart by having people actually walking by and staying by your booth and tasting the product. Do a dry run. This is number 6. Before you go to the actual market, set up a booth at home to make sure everything fits and see if there are any areas where you might be able to improve, right? If you have a basement, I would say just do in your basement. The last thing you want is to do in the backyard and have neighbors seeing what you're doing. No, you want to do a dry run in your basement, quietly at home, and have family members and relatives and colleagues and friends, people in your entourage, to give you an objective feedback. Number 7, keep detailed checklists. Now you have to understand that you have a check. when you go to a farmer's market, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, a lot of stuff. So if you have a checklist that include everything you need to bring, from the actual products to the things you need to set up your booth and display your items, you gotta have all those things. Without a list, you might forget important stuff, and that's the last thing you want to happen to you when you go to a farmer's market. Number 8, remember the essentials. What are the essentials here? Water, snacks for yourself and your team, right? If you are going to sell for 8 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours, that's a lot of time. People will be standing up, they'll need to drink. The last thing you want is to have dehydrated team members or people who are just, so hungry they can't focus anymore. So those are critical. Always, you want to have the essentials. You want to have water, snacks, some fruits, some good food, whatever it is. All right. Don't make your team hungry and uncomfortable. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How are you doing? I'm still here talking about 25 tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers market. I've already given you 8 tips. I'm going to give you another 8. All right. But before I do so, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already done so. We drop this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. Comment below, share a like, let us know your experience when it comes to farmers markets. Are you one of those entrepreneurs who goes from market, who hops from markets to market? It is a great opportunity, we've heard. Let us know your experience. Or are you one of those who just go to 1 or 2 per year? You want to know everything. Number 9, display your top looking foods. Now, everybody knows that when you look at veggies or meats or whatever, some are top looking and some are just not really good looking, right? So you want to, and this kind of unfortunate, but it's the way things work, right? People actually eat first with their eyes. So you want to show your top looking foods first. So when setting up your booth, the foods on display can make a huge difference, especially if competition is high. If it's a huge market and you have tons of people, tons of vendors and tons of clients, it's you better really set yourself apart. So don't set out a bunch of brown apples or wilted spinach. Choose your best product and display those front and center. Number 10, stack your items high. The way you arrange your items, and this has been shown by several merchandising research studies, the way you arrange your items can make a huge difference in how people perceive them, right? If you pile it high, you watch it fly. That's the philosophy, right? Philosophy is you pile it high, watch it fly. If you create the illusion of abundance, this can make your product seem more appealing to passersby. So you want to stack your products rather than laying them out on the table. Or you can even hang things from the top of your booth or utilize other unique display tactics just so shoppers can see a lot of your products all at once. Number 11, decorate your table. All right. So you want to add some colors, some decor like tablecloths, trays, and photos to add some visual interest to your booth. Number 12, present yourself impeccably. Granted, this is not a job interview. I'm not asking you to go in your best formal shoes or formal pants, whatever, or in tie. No. But you need to present yourself because people, the first impression counts, right? You are also a big part of how shoppers perceive your booth. So you don't want to show up with messy hair and dirty jeans. Nobody wants to buy from you. You want to be comfortable but clean and professional, so people feel good buying food items for you, especially if you're selling foods, right? You want to be clean. Hygiene is kind of important. Number 13, stand up. The last thing you want is sit and look lethargic to passersby. Nobody wants to buy it from a lethargic vendor. You want to be vivid. You want to be lively. You want to stand up. You want to be chatty. You want to be conversational, right? Standing rather than sitting at your booth can make a big difference because this puts you at eye level with your customers and lets you interact with them more naturally. Number 14, make captivating signage. You can also draw attention. lots of attention by adding eye-catching signage to your booth, and you can let them know exactly what they can expect from your products. Number 16, hire a designer. Now, what I'm trying to say here is you don't have to break the bank and hire a very expensive designer here, but the last thing you want again is to write some kind of random sign on a piece of cardboard. You want your signs to look professional and represent your business. So if you are really confident in your artistic skills, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I would suggest that you hire someone or ask a creative friend to help you put together some good looking signage. Number 16, label prices clearly, right? Clients don't want to have to ask you for the price of every item at your booth. Remember, you are at a farmer's market to sell. All the attention, energy, and focus should be on what? Sales, S-A-L-E-S, right? So everything you can do to make the customers' lives easy and the sales quick should be your priority number one. So you want to put out signs with prices that are clearly marked and easy to read. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still here having a conversation around 25 tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers market. And number 17, you want to be friendly and talkative. All right. So when people come across your booth, greet them and do this in a positive and a friendly, in a natural way, and make sure they know you are available to answer any questions. I'm not asking you to be pushy. I'm not asking you to be a stalker. I'm not asking you to ask them, please come and buy my stuff. No, you want to engage them in conversation when the opportunity presents itself. And the opportunity to talk has to come from them, from the client, not from you. Number 18, create a consistent process. Now, the process I'm talking about here is a process that your team members have to familiarize themselves with. The system for things like taking money, packaging sold items. You want to make sure bags are easily accessible and everyone working at your booth knows the process for accepting payments. That way, the experience is consistent for every customer. Remember earlier I was talking about branding. So the whole idea is to have an identity for your business, a business identity, which is your brand. So if the experience is consistent for every customer, they see their brand uniformity. All right. And that's very important for establishing future brand loyalty, customer loyalty. Number 19, create an operations procedure manual. Now, I'm not asking you to concoct like 100-page manual here, but you want to have something. If you have many employees or helpers, similar to what I said earlier about having a consistent process, you want to put things down. This can be 2 pages or 3 pages. It doesn't matter. What really matters is that you want everybody to read stuff and be on the same page, literally. You want people to be on the same page when it comes to the operations procedure manual. So if there is a problem, you can say, please go back to page 3 or page 4 and read the solution to this. You can do this in a very simple way by having an FAQ. So a frequently asked questions with answers. So you're just answering all possible questions that may arise at the farmers market. Number 20, keep the line moving. And moving and moving and moving and moving, right? If people walking by your booth, for instance, if they see a huge line, they might just pass by without stopping, because nobody goes to a farmer's market. This is not like you go into a nightclub where if you see a long line, you're thinking, oh, the music must be good or the DJ must be good. I want to go in. At a farmer's market, the competition is so high that if they see a long line in front of your booth, they're going elsewhere, and you're losing revenue. You're losing revenue twice. Why? Because you just lost the passersby who didn't stop, and you might be losing those customers who are already in line. They might actually leave too. They might leave the line. So you want to keep the line moving. You want to try your best to move through the line quickly without pushing customers away. Number 11. Number 21, you want to create a flow for your booth. What is that? If you're trying to limit huge lines at your booth, you want to set it up. You want to set up the booth in a way that still allows people to shop while others are completing purchases, right? It really depends on the layout of the market, of course, but if you have room, create some signage to make it clear where people should stand while waiting to complete purchases. Number 22, folks, we're still talking about the tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers markets. Number 22, answer questions while selling. Again, going back to what I said earlier, you want to focus on selling. The ka-ching should be coming in. That's the sound I want to hear. That's the sound you should be hearing. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. But while doing that, you got to be able to multitask here. And you should be able to multitask by selling and talking. So practice accepting payments while answering questions from other customers so you can be comfortable and you can keep the line moving even while others shop. Number 23, create a quick and short FAQ sign. It might be helpful for you to create an FAQ sign if lots of customers ask you the same questions over and over again. And this can make the process easier for them and save you time so you can complete sales. Because if people are asking you the same question, chances are something's going on. They need answers, and this is something you need to fix. And you can make it very funny, very creatively. It's better to even use infographics as opposed to having a large block of text put on a poster, right? Number 24, display photos from your farm. Now, if you want people, again, going back to what I said earlier about you setting yourself apart from the crowd, from the competitors, a good way to show originality, a good way to epitomize the real farmers market, a great way to embrace the whole bio, the whole environmentally friendly concept is to display photos from your farm. So people shopping at farmers market, they would want to connect with the farmers they buy items from, right? This is not just a supermarket aisle where you just go pick up a veggie and just go to the cashiers and pay and just leave. You want to see as a buyer, you want to see the history behind the farm. You want to see the people behind that veggie, the family, the philosophy, all this kind of stuff. And one way to help people feel connected to your booth is to display some photos from your farm, showing where their purchases come from. Number 25, last but not the least, share recipes. You can also create unique displays or packaging for products that provide cool ideas and recipes for what people can make with your items. The more you do that, the more you are expanding your potential clientele. All right, folks, this is it. This is the rundown of the 25 tried and tested tips for small businesses selling at farmers market. Let's quickly do a recap before we just end this conversation. Visit markets beforehand. Familiarize yourself with the rules. Start small and grow naturally and gradually. Find a unique segment. Set your products apart. Do a dry run. Keep detailed checklists. Remember the essentials. Display your top looking foods. Stack your items high. Decorate your table. Present yourself impeccably. Stand up. Make captivating signage. Hire a designer. Label prices clearly. Be friendly and talkative. Create a consistent process. Create an operational procedure manual. Keep the line moving. Create a flow for your booth. Answer questions while selling. Create an FAQ sign. Display photos from your farm and share recipes. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.